So this is my story. August 19th, 2000, I was, I died uh, for, for a long period of time, between 32 and 38 minutes. Left the farm early in the morning with my bike on the back, and I was going down to ride with my friends that we rendezvous from downtown every morning. We ride between 28 30 miles and have a cup of coffee. Rode out. Everything I'm telling you is not what I remember, it's just what I was told. Rode out on our way to Scituate. I fall off my bike. Apparently I told the guys I'm like really short of breath. I can't get my breath. So they knew I was very disorientated and out of breath. Something wasn't right. So they called 911. Told them I was sitting up. I could converse, but there was definitely something wrong, and they should send out the emergency vehicles to assist. So they did. They could go 90 miles an hour. They could come just, basically the speed limit, which they did, based on the fact that I was still conscious. They literally arrived and my heart stopped and I was out. They immediately started oxygen, CPR, and they used the Lucas machine. So try to restart my heart through paddles, muscle stimulants, nothing worked. And I guess I was out now for going on a half an hour, and my angels, I call them, was driving by. He was part of an EMT crew that was out on another call. They were coming back in and stopped in to see how we were doing. And they told her, hey, we lost this guy. There's nothing we can really do at this point in time. He said, hey, have you used muscle stimulant? And he says, yes, we have. He said, well, I think the old muscle stimulants that we used for the heart were better than the new ones. And so they're online with the social hospital, and they said no, he'd already been given the first muscle stimulant for my heart, and it was out of protocol. And I think I'm quoting him correctly. He said, the guy's dead. There's nothing else we can do for him. We're basically just gonna bring him in, and this is the end. So they said, sure, go ahead. And obviously, I'm sitting here talking, so my heart started. So I go through a series of really unusual events to get care. So I wound up in Mass General because they had no idea what had happened. They had checked my arteries and all my valves and everything were working fine. So they really had no idea why my heart had stopped. They called Mass General, the cardiac ward, and the cardiac ward, just Andrew Aboud was there, who was an intern, and he was studying under one of the top people in the cardiac area, Hannah Gagan, who was a specialist in amyloid. And that's actually the condition I have, is the amyloid stopped my heart. So Andrew picked up the phone, requested to see the film, and they showed it to him, and he said, we need him in here right away. I don't have a bed, but get him in here right away. So I was transported, and I still have no memory. Now, but I have three things that are ringing in my head, just like, I think you could call it an angel had spoken to me, my subconscious, I don't know. The first one was, that's why you came here. I had to move from Nova Scotia 32 years ago. I had to be at that exact spot, at that exact time, Otherwise, that second group of EMTs doesn't drive by. He doesn't suggest I use the second muscle stimulant. I'm dead. Like literally, I'm sure there's some place, but the probability of finding another place to replicate that set of circumstances is, I don't know, in the billions and trillions, I don't know. Second thing is, it's not profound, but for me it is. You take nothing with you. And that was really powerful, like very powerful. I had no really any understanding of how powerful that was, but based on the fact that, kind of the poster child for most stuff when you die, that would have been me. I've owned a number of homes, a ton of different things, a lot of stuff. Yeah, so that was pretty strong message. And the third thing, and it's pretty simple, again, not profound. Life's all about love and relationships. And the old story of I always love the hymn, "The Amazing Grace," a wretch like me. So I'm not the worst person on the planet, but I got plenty of faults. And relationships are something I'm probably not really great at. Loving, yeah, at a price. So it was pretty profound that those things were ringing in my head. Now, I get out of the hospital, they treat me for amyloid. I get in touch with, again, which is a huge coincidence that I'm in touch with with the person that's doing some of the best research on the planet, and amyloid with Hannah Gagan, Andrew. They put a heart, something in my heart just in case it gets out of rhythm, or if it stops, it'll actually shock it and put it back into, hopefully restart my heart. So, now I go about my life. I can look at the sky and it's like, wow, this is pretty amazing. The sun, this is a pretty amazing experience. Like, this is pretty cool. Like, what is this? Like, what really is this? This whole human experience. So, what's really going on? And then I'm like the busiest guy on the, I'm just a busy guy. I got lots to do. I get back, I want my life back. I had no license because I can't drive, but I want to drive again. I want to get back on my bike. I want my life back. I want to get in my gardens. I want to ride my bike. I just want back in my life. I want my life back. And then it's slowly but surely, it starts to sort of change. And I start to really feel very empty. That what I've done with my life is really not the right thing to have, to have a great experience in life. But it's basically is that I've been a very busy person that has accomplished a lot, but I really had missed the most important aspects of the experience of life. So I start to dream, and I know that everybody has near-death experiences, have different things happen to them. Some people see their relatives and go to the tunnel, the white light, they can see above their body. I didn't have that happen. But now I start to dream. And my dreams are, I die. And most people wake up before they die. I don't. I dream like I die. And now I go to the most beautiful, it's like going home. It's like being welcomed home, and the love and just the relief of being in this loving place. You experience true unconditional love. And it's profound. And it's like so powerful. There's no drug on the planet that would make you feel like this. And now I'm like, oh, this is really, like, life is getting really hard. And I said, I have to talk to a psychologist and how to repair my relationships, and I look at my childhood and how I interact, and trying to understand my relationships and how to be a more loving person, because I've got this message, right? And I just like sinking like a stone. I'm going down, just a drop every day. I'm just down, 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 down. And nothing's working. I don't feel like I have the motivation, the desire, the ability to really turn it around. And then I just really kind of hit rock bottom, and decided, like, I can't keep this up. I'm so at turmoil and so at odds with my experience of having died and the actual experience that I'm actually having. And so it's like two different things, and it's just not lining up. So I go to Sedona, and I told my kids, I gotta do something, because I can't keep this up. And I'm gonna go have a spiritual journey, and nothing against organized religion, but I knew it wasn't about religion. It was about a spiritual connection that I was looking for somehow to fill this void, or give me a different path or a different journey that I could go on. And I met a lot of different practitioners out there. It was a great experience. Different people had different, I was introduced to breath work, enneagrams, basically energy. But one of the things that started to resonate with me was the ability. Most of the people I spoke to said, in order to get your soul healed, you had to love yourself. Okay, love myself. That's a pretty interesting concept. Yeah, I think I'm a good guy. And I really start to analyze it. I start to really think about, do I love myself? And then I kind of put things together a little bit differently at that point. Because now I know the human soul has when you die, you experience what the human soul is craving on earth, which is unconditional love. I mean, that's what I experienced, is profound. And now I start to go, okay, that's the experience that I'm having here, that I want to have here, that I had when I died. And then you look at your life, and then you look at, nothing against my parents, they're wonderful folks, but you're given conditional love. That's what you're basically given, is conditional love. If you do this, this, and this, then you're conditionally loved. That's okay. So now you're raised, so let's just say now you're going to behave yourself, you're going to do what you're told, you're not going to cause problems, you're going to, basically you're going to be a good kid, and then they're going to raise you, teach you to go out and make a living and be able to provide for yourself, which is not bad. but it's at odds with our soul. The experience that we crave and want is not conditional love, it's unconditional love. You think about it. So now you take, for me, my experience is you take a wiggly child and you stick him in a desk. And because of some of the traumas that I had when I was a kid, I had separation anxiety. My parents would leave, and I really had a hard time in their absence. So I would literally cry myself to sleep practically every night. It was very difficult. So, out of that, anxiety, a lot of fear. So now I go to school, I have learning disabilities, I really can't sit still, I've got these anxieties that are, coming out of my personality. And now we're gonna really start the judgment here. Now we're going to pass, fail, not performing. You take all of that work, you take it home, your parents punish you because you're not working up to potential. You're not doing the things you're supposed to do. You're not functioning up to your industrial training method of being optimally doing as you're told and being able to perform. So this is a very judgmental thing, and again, it goes back to what you want to experience is unconditional love, and what you get is a completely different circumstance. So this is like completely opposite. Now we go into our teenage years, and I don't know about you, but no matter what, I mean, your nose is too long, your lips are too big, your ears are floppy, you don't like your name, you don't like anything, you're just kind of, but you're really doting your self-confidence, and of course now you don't have much self-love for yourself, so you can pick yourself apart. You go through this dating process, which is just tumultuous for most people. So we get through all of that and kind of straighten that out. Now you get off to, now you're gonna go train yourself. Now you've been your parents will give you, an industrialized conditional love to be able to behave yourself and do things. Now you conditionally went through the education system, pass, fail, judgment, whatever. Now you go through the judgment process with peers trying to find a spouse, you get that all done, and now you're gonna go off to work. Well, that's kind of interesting. So now we're going off to work, which is, again, now you have all these insecurities that you brought up with your past and for me, I'm going to accomplish a lot. I'm going to show all those teachers and my parents and everybody that doubted me that, boy, I was really, you guys judged me wrong because I'm going to accomplish all of you. And to a certain extent, I did. I accomplished a lot. Went to work for Wall Street, Merrill Lynch, top broker, way overperformed based on my age and what I brought to the table. Sales, I just always excelled. In my athletics, I'd excelled. But it was always underneath, there was always a tumultuous unhappiness, a lot of chaos, a lot of upset emotions. But what I would do is modify my behavior and just accomplish more. So just in search of just, being able to accomplish big and live life big and do things big. So you go through all of that. I won't, go into all the ups and downs of all of that, but, failed marriages, children that, really had to deal with, this kind of an ego-driven experience growing up and all the judgment that I threw on them. And so then, you go through all of this, you go, so I keep modifying everything, and I'm trying to be a better person and work hard and accomplish, be good to my family, do the right thing. But again, there's always never I would call a loving, joyous person. I was functionally happy, but with undercurrents of really very great sadness. And then this event happens. And what I start to realize is that what we really all want is unconditional love. That's all that any of us ever want, is this unconditional love. And now, having gone through, and I'm really just sort of in my infancy of expanding my understanding and my ability to get to a point where I feel the love that I felt when I had died, being able to give the love that I felt when I died, which is unconditional love. And then what I start to realize is, man, you are really programmed to do everything against that. It's not like I want to become the poster child of, down with them, the system. But I think we really, if I can give some sort of perspective of really, we are souls. And our souls really want to experience love. And the ultimate is they want to experience unconditional love. And I really think that that's so strong in all of us. And the reason it's so strong is its essence is where we go. That's who we are. When I got there, nobody said, hey, you did this right, you did that wrong, you did this wrong, you did this to this person, that to that person. No. When I got there, first of all, I didn't take anything with me. And I did not get judged. I was loved, incredibly, unconditionally loved. And the feeling was amazing. So I guess at my age, and having sort of done it all, I can't say completely wrong, but a lot wrong, I feel like it's my obligation to try to make people have comfort in the fact that they need to slow down and understand they're not going to take anything with them. But life really is all about love. And you have to provide that love to yourself. It's a self-correcting process where you provide that love to yourself and try to override a lot of the judgment that's been levied on us that puts us in such turmoil consistently and takes away from our ability to be loving towards ourselves and puts us in turmoil and anxiety and upsetness. So I'm making this video, and this is probably my first attempt at probably more than a few, to try to explain the connection. For me, it's not a theoretical connection. For most people, it's all theoretical. It sounds good, but it's not real. For me, it's real. This is not like a theoretical experience. This is a real experience for me. And as I've started this work, and I've had the ability to have some very soulful, unconditionally loving moments, and they're only moments, they don't happen all the time. It's not like, come to a point where everything is easy and I just love everybody and love everybody all the time. But when I get there and provide that, it's magical. It truly is magical. And the experience that you have in that place, when you can get to that, is truly the ultimate life experience. So that's my personal journey, is to heal myself. It's going to take a while. I've got a lot of gray hair, so my programming is pretty deep. So I have to reprogram myself to be unconditionally loving towards myself and take that love to the world to help heal a lot of the people that are living in the same way that I did, is without this anxiety, worry, illness, stress, strain, and for nothing. Because ultimately, I know for sure that's all for nothing. The only thing that really matters is love. So I hope this little video has been helpful, and I look forward to sharing more.